Welcome back from that short break. President Bola Tinubu has held a closed-door meeting with the service chiefs at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. This marks Tinubu's first engagement with the military high command since swearing in retired General Christopher Musa as the new Minister of Defense on December 4, 2025, while the official agenda remains undisclosed. The meeting comes amid mounting security concerns, including the ongoing captivity of 115 students kidnapped from a Catholic border school in November, and a recent approval by the Nigerian Senate for troops deployment to Benin Republic following an attempted coup in the country. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has charged relevant agencies to work hard to generate revenue capable of funding critical sectors of the economy. Senator Akpabio gave the charge while declaring open the interactive meeting on the 2026 to 2028 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper organized by the Senate Committee on Finance in Abuja. Here is Topsy Gimba's report.
The President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, who was represented by the Deputy Chief Whip, Senator Peter Nwaboyin, said budgetary assumption was often estimated based with the revenue generation to enable the government to fund its capital projects and pay worker salaries. He tasked the stakeholders to live up to their responsibilities for the robust economic development in the country.
It is my expectation, therefore, that the deliberation arising from this exercise will further deepen collaboration between the executive and the legislative arm of government, all geared towards promoting the national interests of our country, Nigeria.
Earlier, the chairman, Senate Committee on Finance, Senator Sani Musa, APC, Niger East, said the interactive meeting on the 2026 to 2028 MTEF and FSP was to propose revenue assumptions for the purpose of funding people's base budget.
Part of that solution that we saw last week was at the Federal Executive Council, where His Excellency the President himself approved and gave directive that all outstanding debts in terms of 2024-2025, the 30% should be cleared.
Those who attended the interactive meeting on the MTEF and FSP were the Minister of Finance, Accounting Minister of Economy, Mr. Wale Odun, Minister of Budget and National Planning, Abubakar Atiku, the Minister of State Petroleum, Senator Lukobori Henikin, Chairman, Nigeria Inland Revenue Service, Zak Adedeji, and others looked into the 2024 and 2025 budgets and why the two budgets are still running concurrently. The Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of Economy, Mr. Wale Odun, explained some economic policies of the government and the implementation based on how much is generated and the expenses.
His Excellency, Mr. President, having removed the major distortions in the economy, having stabilized it, the whole point is that there should be investment. And we are having investment across all sectors.
On the non-payment of local contractors, Mr. Wale Odun said the presidential directive has already been issued for the immediate payment of 30% to all local contractors.
The Koreas of this world, the Singapores of this world, they did it, the Chinas, by mobilizing their own savings so that when they produce, they don't consume everything.
The Minister of Budget and National Planning, Alhaji Abubakar Atiku, further explained how the budget is planned and its implementation and reason behind the rollover of 2024, 2025 to 2026.
That relationship is what is required to generate more investment in infrastructure, renewed hope infrastructure, which is affecting all parts of Nigeria and creating jobs. Equally, the increased spending on security by all the tiers of government is supposed to support domestic production, domestic job creation.
The chairman, Nigeria Inland Revenue Service, Zak Adedeji, proposed how much the agency will generate for the funding of 2026 budget, while responding on why the agency has signed a memorandum of understanding MOU with France. The meeting ended with the resolution by the chairman of the committee to set up a three-man committee to work with the Accountant General of the Federation for the quick payment of local contractors. Topsy Gimba, reporting for Global Television News.
The federal government has inaugurated Nigeria's third national action plan on the implementation of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325 on women. Peace and Security, reaffirming Nigerians' commitment to inclusion, gender equality, and sustainable peace. The National Action Plan 3 of the United Nations Security Council resolution, inaugurated by the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu in Abuja, was spearheaded by the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development. The First Lady, represented by the wife of the Deputy President of the Senate, Leila Barrow, explained that 25 years ago, through the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325, the global community recognized that the women should not remain on the sidelines but the active participant in shaping peace and security. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Pati, has issued a stern warning to senior officials, signaling impending sweeping leadership changes in terms of failing to deliver on key performance indicators related to polio eradication and routine immunization. Prof. Pati gave the warning after being debriefed by the Expert Review Committee on Polio Eradication and Routine Immunization at the Ministry's headquarters in Abuja. Zahrau Nasir reports.
Professor Fati emphasized a results-oriented approach, stating that the goal is to achieve results and not just effort. The minister also stated that Nigeria has made significant strides in the fight against polio, having been certified free of wild polio virus since 2020. However, the country continues to grapple with circulating vaccine-derived polio virus type 2 with ongoing transmission, posing a risk to full eradication.
The fact that we have made progress is good, but it's not enough if we're to deal with this by end of 2026. Or it has global implications, it has regional implications, and it has implication for us. So what does it mean? It means we have to go all out.
The Coordinating Minister of Health said government's ambitious target is to interrupt all forms of polio virus transmission by the end of 2025, aligning with broader efforts under President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda to strengthen primary health care, expand infrastructure, and boost routine immunization coverage.
If you put folks together and the result is not effort that we're rewarding results. And if there are no results, then we change people and bring those who can be able to deliver. And I told him, even if it means every month changing people, the ED has my support.
Stakeholders, including partners from World Health Organization, UNICEF, and Global Polio Eradication Initiative, have reaffirmed support for Nigeria's efforts, stressing the need for sustained political will and operational excellence to secure a polio-free future. Zahrau Nasir, reporting for Global TV News.
And in business news, the Nigerian Port Authority said it has recorded a 1,085% surge in export-laden containers as total cargo throughput rose to 33.52 million metric tons in the third quarter of 2025. In a statement, the Nigerian Port Authority stressed that the figure is one of its strongest quarterly performances in the recent years. The statement explained that operational data released by the authority over the weekend showed that cargo handled during the period increased by 16.2%, up from 28.84 million metric tons recorded in the corresponding quarter of 2024, reflecting rising trade activity across Nigerian ports. A total of 132 Nigerian companies have accessed 51.78 billion naira and $359.653 million in local content intervention funds aimed at promoting indigenous participation in the country's oil and gas sector. The Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board has disclosed the funding designed to strengthen the capacity of Nigerian firms, include the $350 million Nigerian Content Intervention Fund, the $50 million Working Capital Fund, which is supported by the Nigerian Export-Import Bank, and the Women in Oil and Gas Fund. And on the foreign scene, the United States Embassy in Nigeria has cautioned Nigerians on the serious consequences of visa fraud, emphasizing that falsifying information of submitting fake documents can result in permanent visa bans. In a post on X, the embassy stated the visa fraud has serious consequences, Lying or providing fake documents can lead to permanent visa bans under United States immigration law. This means you will never go. The advisory aligned with a meeting between United States Ambassador Richard Mills and Nigerian Foreign Minister Yusuf Tugar, where both officials discussed areas of cooperation between the two countries. Outgoing United Nations Refugees Chief Filippo Grandi says this year has been a perfect storm of successive crises for the world's forcibly displaced people, who were estimated to number 117.3 million people in May 2025. The United Nations chief stated that the measures have inflicted unnecessary pain on refugees who are being vilified, while their suffering is exploited by traffickers and the politicians. Uyi Abomafwegbe has a detail.
Grandi noted that altogether it has been what he termed a perfect storm while speaking at the opening of a biannual Global Refugee Forum Progress Review in Geneva, Switzerland. He condemned the unending atrocities committed in Sudan, Ukraine, Gaza, and Myanmar, as well as the sudden, drastic, irresponsible, and short-sighted collapse of foreign assistance, all of which he lamented have inflicted so much of unnecessary pain.
A year when the sudden, drastic, irresponsible and short-sighted collapse of foreign assistance continues to devastate the aid sector, inflicting so much unnecessary pain in its wake.
The UN refugees chief also said politicians and traffickers have exploited these unfortunate developments for selfish gains, a situation he described as one that has provided economical and political advantage to self-serving entities.
A year when refugees were frequently vilified, scapegoated in so many places, with their suffering cynically used by traffickers for profit, and their situation by politicians to gain votes for the next election.
The number of people forcibly displaced worldwide has almost doubled in the last decade, but funding for international aid has slumped, not least after the return of U.S. President Donald Trump to the White House. Uyi Agbomofwegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
And in sports, Nigeria and Rwanda have emerged as the biggest beneficiaries of the individual award at the second edition of the West African Trophy, with players from both teams claiming top hours following a highly competitive tournament that concluded in Abuja. While Nigerians successfully defended the team title, Rwanda's strong all-round showing was reflected in multiple personal accolades, underlining their growing stature. And that's it on News Express. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now trained on your screen using at Global TV NG. I am Sadia Yakubu saying thank you for watching.